The Premier League takes a backseat for the next fortnight as the World Cup qualifiers reach their conclusion, and it's a great chance to take stock. All 20 teams have now played 7 times, and, as we all expected, the cream has risen to the top. With the exception of Burnley, who sit in 6th, the traditional top 6 are in their usual top table positions. The 2 Manchester clubs are neck and neck after unbeaten starts to the season, followed by Tottenham, defending champions Chelsea and Arsenal. Liverpool sit in 7th.We assess the 6 title contenders on how they've got on so far and whether they can go the distance this season. How have they fared so far? Superbly.Pep Guardiola's free-scoring team have set the standard so far in the Premier League, winning all but one of their matches and passing the tougher tests with flying colours. Highlights have been their 5-0 drubbing of Liverpool last month and Saturday's 1-0 win over Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, a result that really laid down a marker for the title race ahead. With all of their forward line firing and the summer signings performing well, City have racked up the goals as well. Five against Liverpool, 6 at Watford, 5 against Crystal Palace.Defensively. City looks strong as well, conceding just the 2 goals so far, and Guardiola will be delighted with how everything has started to click. There have been few problems so far, but the past week has seen 2 injury blows. Benjamin Mendy looks set for a lengthy spell on the sidelines after suffering a cruciate knee ligament injury, while striker Sergio Aguero, who has scored 7 times this season, damaged ribs in his Amsterdam car crash. However, the depth, the quality in Guardiola's squad is such that they should make light of these absentees. Aguero may have scored 7, but Raheem Sterling has 6 and Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sane 5 apiece. What are the next few fixtures like? City's October looks relatively straightforward, with home matches against Stoke City and Burnley, followed by a visit to West Brom. November includes a home match against Arsenal, while the Old Trafford derby with United on December 9th is already looking massive. Absolutely.City were many people's pre-season favourites, and nothing so far has happened to alter that opinion. It looks like they'll be pushed all the way by United and potentially other teams, but City have so far played with such style they'll be hard to keep up with. However, priorities will be tested when they reach the business end of the Champions League, a competition they are more desperate to win than the Premier League. How have they fared so far? It's been a very encouraging start for Jose Mourinho and his United side, who look truly energized and revitalized from the side that struggled to put teams away last season. Each of the players in the team has looked improved, and summer signings Romelu Lukaku and Nemanja Matic have been outstanding during the first few weeks of the campaign. Led by £75 million man Lukaku, who has scored 10 goals in all competitions so far. United have swept aside all comers, putting 4 past West Ham, Swansea, Everton, and Crystal Palace. Their only dropped points came in a 2-2 draw at Stoke City, and they trail City by just the 1 goal. Not too many, though the expected long-term absence of Paul Pogba, who has enjoyed a superb start to his 2nd season with the club, is a blow. Though United have successfully rolled aside all comers in the league so far, there is a sense that they haven't truly been tested as yet, and tougher fixtures lie ahead. But the frustrations of last season, when United dropped far too many points by not putting away their chances, are a distant memory. They have rediscovered their cutting edge, with not only Lukaku, but also fellow strikers Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial, in really good form. What are the next few fixtures like? Things really start to get challenging for United after the international break, with a trip to Anfield to take on Liverpool on October 14th and a home match with Tottenham on October 28th. The start of November will see them visit defending champions Chelsea. We'll know a lot more about United's title credentials by the end of November. Yes.for the first time since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, United look the real deal. Although tougher games lie in wait, their form in the first few weeks indicates they will be right in the mix come May. Firing on all cylinders in attack and resolute in defense, Mourinho has finally molded the team in his image, and when that happens, success and silverware usually follows. When Zlatan Ibrahimovic returns from injury in the new year, it will be as good as a new signing as well. How have they fared so far? It's a steadily improving picture for Spurs, who started the season sluggishly with a home defeat by Chelsea and a home draw with Burnley the following week. However, September away wins at West Ham and Huddersfield, coinciding with a spectacular return to form for Harry Kane, have lifted them to a position in the table they feel at home in. But one glance at the table shows the two Manchester clubs already have a 5-point lead over Spurs, and they really cannot afford too many slip-ups if they're to keep pace. Mauricio Pochettino's team, when they click into gear, are one of the most exciting to watch in the league, and there have been some glimpses of their best, if not a consistent look. The thing critics will keep coming back to is their inability to win at Wembley Stadium, their temporary home, in the league at least. They have so far lost to Chelsea and been held by Burnley and Swansea, taking just 2 points from a possible 9. Although they were brilliant in beating Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, there, talk of the problems at Wembley won't be dispelled until they start taking regular league points at the National Stadium. There's also been plenty of talk about Dele Alli and how he has struggled for form so far this season. but you wouldn't expect the England man to be down for too long. What are the next few fixtures like? It's a demanding month for Spurs, with a home game with Liverpool and a visit to Old Trafford, so we should know a little more about their title credentials by the end of it. First, however, they have a chance to slay this Wembley hoodoo once and for all when they host struggling Bournemouth on the 14th. With a visit to Real Madrid in the Champions League also on the agenda, it's a tricky month, but a superb opportunity to show what they can do. Potentially. Spurs have been the nearly men over the past couple of seasons, and the competition isn't going to soften. It depends on star performers Kane and Christian Eriksen maintaining their form, and Ali finding his. With Champions League and Cup commitments running alongside, Spurs don't have the depth of the Manchester teams. But they certainly should have the quality and attacking threat to trouble every team in the division, and you'd expect them to be there or thereabouts during the run-in. How have they fared? So far, 4 wins out of 7 league games so far suggests an encouraging start, but defending champions Chelsea have already lost 2 games and find themselves 6 points off the pace. After a summer of uncertainty over manager Antonio Conte, plus the Diego Costa saga and missed transfer targets, Chelsea started with a shambolic 3-2 opening day loss at home to Burnley. From there, things seemed to settle down, and with new striker Alvaro Morata playing superbly, Chelsea chained together a sequence of wins. But Saturday's 1-0 home loss to Manchester City came as a reality check. The champions were defensive in minutes and appeared a little intimidated by Guardiola's swaggering side. It showed how far the competition had progressed over the summer, and Chelsea will have to perform at a new level to beat them. There shouldn't be on the face of it. Having missed out on some initial transfer targets, Chelsea still recruited well over the summer, and £70 million man Morata has started with 7 goals in his first 9 matches. Any deficiencies have become apparent in the bigger games, with the Blues drawing with Arsenal and losing to City, whereas last season they brushed aside their title rivals. It isn't necessarily that Chelsea have regressed, just the opposition, especially the 2 Manchester clubs, have caught them up. Mind you, despite the 6-point gap, there's a long way to go yet. What are the next few fixtures like? October presents a good chance for Chelsea to catch up, with a trip to pointless Crystal Palace followed by home matches against Watford and a visit to Bournemouth. November is a different proposition, however, with fixtures against Manchester United and Liverpool lying in store. Certainly. Bear in mind that Chelsea had lost twice by this point last season and still went on to win the title by 7 points. Sure, there are a few alterations to make, but that's precisely what Conte did so well with his switch to 3-4-3 last season. While you'd say the Manchester clubs are a cut above at the moment, it would be foolish to write Chelsea off at this stage of the season. How have they fared so far when Arsenal's second and third games of the season resulted in a 1-0 defeat at Stoke and a 4-0 drubbing at the hands of Liverpool? The decision to extend Arsene Wenger's contract looked a very unpopular one. But dissent has been quelled by a 7-match unbeaten run in all competitions since then, including 3 league wins, and Arsenal do seem to be back on track as they sit in 5th. Summer signings Sead Kolasinac and Alexander Lacazette have performed well, suggesting more shrewd recruitment than at times in the past. The goalless draw at Stamford Bridge, somewhere they never win, was a welcome sign of encouragement, and the pursuit of a return to the top 4 and the Champions League is very much on. The 4-goal thrashing at Liverpool once again suggested a vulnerability against their top 4 rivals. While Arsenal will encounter few problems in sweeping aside lesser opponents, they'll capitulate in certain matches against top-quality opposition. There's also the Europa League factor, with long-haul trips and tight schedules almost guaranteed if they progress deep into the competition. If a few injuries mount up, Europe could prove an unwelcome distraction. What are the next few fixtures like? Trips to Watford and then Everton are next on the league agenda, either side of another long European trip to Belgrade to play Red Star. A home match against Swansea completes October, but November features tricky games with Manchester City and Tottenham that will tell us if Arsenal truly can compete. It looks unlikely at this point. While a 6-point margin to the leaders isn't insurmountable, Arsenal fans have seen this one before and have almost come to expect a slip-up at some point. There's no reason why they can't finish in the top 4 and return to the top European competition again, however. How have they fared so far? It hasn't exactly gone to plan for Jurgen Klopp and his team, leaving fans and pundits alike wondering whether they'll ever actually mount a title challenge. The high point of that 4-0 humbling of Arsenal was swiftly followed by the come-down of a 5-goal mauling at City, and they've won just the once in all competitions since. Draws with Burnley and Newcastle, both matches they should have won, seem to sum up Liverpool's difficulties. A menacing attack that hasn't been putting away enough chances, and the well-documented defensive problems. Already, targets are being readjusted from a potential tilt at the title to just trying to remain in the top 4. Defensively, Liverpool find themselves in disarray far too often. There were warning signs in the summer when their single-track pursuit of Southampton centre-half Virgil van Dijk proved unsuccessful, with no backup options. Alarm bells were ringing as they drew 3-3 at Watford on the opening day, and these old frailties just keep resurfacing as goals are conceded far too easily. The Reds have also made an underwhelming return to Champions League football and have crashed out of the EFL Cup, increasing the chances of Klopp going another season without silverware. What are the next few fixtures like? They host old rivals Manchester United on the first game back after the international break, and then travel to Wembley to play Tottenham. They could do with at least 4 points from those to demonstrate that they can compete with the best in the league. After that, games against Huddersfield, West Ham and Southampton should at least yield a few points. Not as it stands. There are too many defensive weaknesses evident, and you can easily contrast Liverpool's problems at the back with the resolute defending and clean sheets of the Manchester clubs. It's just not sustainable to continue with a policy of trying to outscore the opposition in the knowledge you'll concede at least once. There appears to be no quick fix to this issue either, and any efforts at recruitment in January will prove difficult.